Hi, I'm Catherine from the Diamond Painting Princess channel. Have you ever bought one of those really cheap online diamond art kits? Well, when I started diamond painting, I found this Winnie the Pooh and Friends kit online that was super cheap and I bought it. But since then, it's been sitting at the bottom of my diamond art box. I've decided it's now time to get it out and test it to see what it's like. I'd love for you to come along for the ride with me. First of all, here's the picture on which this diamond art kit is based, and here's the kit itself. So we've got Winnie the Pooh and Friends, my toolkit, and my diamonds. Now what you can already see from this canvas is that it is a very thin and stiff canvas, which is why it's got all these creases in it. Now, I've seen a trick in order to flatten it out, and that is where you pull back the film, pull the canvas flat like you want it to be, and then reapply the film with it flat, and that will help it to become flat a bit quicker. And it seems to have actually worked pretty well. So now let's get started. I think I'll start in the bottom right corner. All right, so I want to compare the diamonds from this pack. Here's some blue ones, which are presumably acrylic diamonds given the price, to some resin diamonds from a different diamond art that I have. Now, it's probably difficult to appreciate, but when you move around and look at the light, there is definitely more light shining off the resin diamonds. So this is the acrylic diamonds. Like, the colors are slightly different, but if you look at the amount of sparkle, there's a bit more sparkle on the resin diamonds. But I think the diamonds still look pretty reasonable. So let's get started then. Alright, so I'm 30 minutes in and I've done quite a few J's on the right hand side. Other than the grass green colour converting to a kind of olivey green colour, which I don't love, the picture actually looks pretty well represented at this stage. The main issue I'm having is with the adhesive. So with most of the diamond art kits that I do nowadays, if I put a diamond in slightly the wrong position, let me demonstrate by doing this, I just nudge it into the right spot with the pen and it just slides into the correct place easily. But with this adhesive, it just doesn't want to move, and then you push it so hard that it moves far too far. So it's not the easiest to move diamonds, but they get into the right position eventually. I just feel like this adhesive is not as good as you might get on a better quality canvas. Hopefully the diamonds stay stuck in the long term. So I'll continue on with the J's on this side, and then I'll move on to the K's. So I'm about 2 hours in now. I feel like I'm making pretty good progress so far as placing the diamonds. I think I'm almost halfway through. Unfortunately though, design-wise, things have taken a turn for the worse. Roo here appears to have no eyes or actually any discernible facial features you can kind of make other than his ears. Tigger also is eyeless, and you can vaguely make out a nose and a mouth, but it certainly doesn't look like the original Tigger. And we're still yet to see how Eeyore's face turns out. But so far it looks like there's quite a few colours that just aren't making sense. I'm now 3.5 hours in, and poor Piglet has suffered the same fate as Tigger and Roo, as he has no discernible facial features. The only one left to see is Winnie the Pooh, so we should have this finished soon. Alright, so I'm just finishing up now, and I was doing the bees, which is this last section down here, and then I realised I'm out of bees. There are none left, which is very strange considering I have this many left of all the other diamond colours, yet I am completely out of bees. So now I'm going to have to go and find some of a similar colour from a different pack that I have to finish it off. So it's been about 4.5 hours, and I've now completed my Winnie the Pooh and Friends diamond art. And here it is. So on a positive note, I would say that I like the colours of the diamonds. They're not terribly sparkly, but I do like the vibrancy of the colours. And that's probably where the positive note has to end. Because overall, the detail in this picture has meant that it hasn't worked at all, unfortunately. From a distance, you can vaguely make out that it's meant to be Winnie the Pooh and Friends. But when you compare it to the original image, you can see that it is not an adequate representation at all. First of all, we have these colours, which are meant to be flowers, but they don't really look like flowers to me. But a greater issue is the facial detail on all the characters, some worse than others. Eeyore here does have 2 eyes at least, but one's dark green and one's dark blue. And Winnie the Pooh has 2 eyes, again, different colours, and a vague representation of a nose. However, poor Piglet, Tigger and Roo really don't have any facial features at all. No eyes, no nose, no mouth. What's happened to you, Winnie the Pooh? Oh, I think this problem has arisen for 2 main reasons. Firstly, this canvas is far too small for a picture with this much detail. So this picture has 5 characters, all which are quite detailed, and it simply is not going to work on a 20 by 30 centimetre canvas. When pixelated into diamond art, there are too many details to be adequately represented. But I think the greater issue is the poor computer rendering. So the computer rendering is meant to turn the image into a diamond art canvas, which is color coded to represent the original picture, but here it has clearly failed. It is not transferred across the facial features and many other features so that you can actually even tell what they are. As a result, this picture of Winnie the Pooh simply does not work. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to call this one a diamond art fail. When I finish a diamond painting, I want to be able to step back and look at a beautiful, sparkling artwork that I've created. But with this one, all I can see is deformed animals. When my daughter Eloise walked past, she said, well, that didn't work. And my sister Becky was even more scathing, saying that Tigger looked like something from a horror movie. And if it was just a matter of the materials not being as good a quality, I'd be completely fine with that. If you pay much less for a canvas, you expect diamonds that aren't quite as sparkly and a canvas that is thin and stiff. But the issue here was the design and the rendering. I have nothing to show for 4.5 hours of my time, which I'm never going to get back. I'm certainly not going to display this or even show it to people. It's just going to have to go in the bin. So although other canvases might be more expensive, they're better value for my time. And remember, your time is valuable too. So even if a canvas is more expensive, you're worth it. I did learn from the experience, so there is that. If you'd like to see more resources on diamond art, please visit us at www.diamondpaintingprincess.com. And you can also explore some of our range of diamond art designs. Thank you for spending this time with me today, and happy diamond painting!